Welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. I was looking at my YouTube channel, as I often do, and on my YouTube page, and up on it popped a recipe in the feed from Miami girl Tangi, and it was a recipe titled Million Dollar Shepherd's Pie with Cornbread. So I thought to myself, that's so wrong, it's got to be delicious. So I clicked on it and I watched the video. Wade will put a link right up here to Tangi's channel as well. Now, Tangi girl, if I don't say this, my great aunt Ginger, who has been dead for many years, is going to pay me a visit tonight. With that being said, this is not shepherd's pie. I'm sure it's going to be delicious, but it's not shepherd's pie. With that being said, if anybody wants to check out our shepherd's pie, way to put a link up here, and that's a true Irish shepherd's pie. Remember, shepherd's pie is always made with ground lamb or lamb. A cottage pie, which this might be more reminiscent of, although with the cornbread, I think we throw it all out the window, would be made with ground beef. But anyway, with all that being said, this is the first time I've made this recipe, and I'm sure it's going to be delicious, and I'm actually looking forward to eating it. So anyway, what we're going to need, guys. Now, I made very little changes to Tangi's recipe. I wasn't sure what size pan she used, so I did cut the ground beef down from 3 pounds to I got a little bit more than 2 pounds of ground beef. But other than that, I really made very few changes. One of the changes is I'll add a little bit of salt and pepper as we saute it. So we've got 2 pounds of ground beef. We, like all shepherd's pie, it's got mashed potatoes in it. Tangi used instant mashed potatoes in hers. Now, I've got one particular follower, Lisa, my sister-in-law, who will immediately scrunch her nose up to instant mashed potatoes. But I love instant mashed potatoes. I actually prefer using instant mashed potatoes when I make shepherd's pie. But anyway, we're going to use some instant mashed potatoes. We're going to make instant mashed potatoes according to the directions, okay? And we'll go through that a little bit more. And we're going to need some cornbread, or I should say cornbread or corn muffin mix. So that's going to be 2 boxes of Jiffy corn muffin mix, okay? And again, we're initially going to make it per the package directions, where 2 boxes call for 2 eggs, and what's a third and a third is 2/3?
No. 1.5.
Are you sure 1.5? Well, wait for that.
No.
Anyway.
2/3.
All right, so each box, the recipe calls for 1 egg and a 1/3 cup of whole milk.
2/3.
So 2/3, yeah, that's what I thought, 2/3. So that's what we got, guys, all right? And then we're gonna need some, I've got some green, 1 red bell pepper, and 1 green bell pepper. Wade likes me to cut them up while we're doing it, but I chose to go ahead and cut them up earlier because we've done that many, many times. And we also got 1 yellow onion, all right? Let's see what else. So her spices included or were a teaspoon of seasoning salt, a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and then we're going to top it with some paprika right before we put it in the oven. Her recipe says 1 small can of diced tomatoes. Tangi, I'm not 100% sure what you meant by 1 small can. I'm going to say this is a 14-ounce. I'm going to use that, even if it's not the same ounces that you use. I think it'll be okay. And we're going to drain that. And then we're going to need a 1/2 cup of, that's my oven, preheated to 350. We're going to need a 1/2 cup of tomato sauce. So I just got a small jar of canned sauce. Now, Tangi used spinach in hers. In the video, she says she uses other vegetables as well. I deplore spinach. It is probably the one vegetable I hate more than anything else in this world, and Wade loves it. So I'm going to use a can of whole kernel corn, and I'm going to drain it. All right, and then we, of course, with any good recipe, we're going to need some cheddar cheese. All right, so I've got some sharp cheddar cheese. All right. Gonna need a little bit of milk too, because we're going, even though we're gonna make the instant mashed potatoes according to the directions, we're gonna add a little bit of milk, because Tangy does, we want them to be thin enough so that we can spread them pretty well. And we're gonna, I don't know if I mentioned it, but we're gonna add some sour cream to that too, because of course, what is anything without sour cream? All right, so before I clean up, I think I've gone over all the ingredients. The only other thing, I'm gonna use a 9x13 Pyrex casserole type dish. We're gonna spray it with Pam. Again, I don't know exactly what size TNG used, and it was a taller than mine, so, but anyway, we'll find out if that works. All right, so before I cut and clean up the rest of this mess, so we continue to cook, guys, we're gonna start. I got my pan heated up, a little bit of olive oil, and we're gonna start to saute our veggies. It. And I'm going to turn that up because I didn't hear that sizzle. So, again, you want to, we start out most vegetables like this, once they get up to temperature, saute them for about 5 minutes or so, just to start them sweating a bit. All right, so in the meantime, again, before I let you go, what I'm going to do is we're going to start our cornbread. Because cornbread always needs to sit a little bit before you cook it. So we're going to mix this together, and we're going to set that aside. All right, so we'll put, and these are large eggs. Usually almost all, unless otherwise noted in a recipe, it always calls for large eggs opposed to extra large or even jumbo eggs, all right? I don't know if I've ever said that before, but that's pertinent. Give this a little mix. And we can add our milk in. And you just want to mix that so it's all combined. Now, I didn't see if Tangy mentioned that you make it to the package instructions, but I did hear her mention 2 eggs, and I saw her pour milk in. So I am assuming, and it looks kind of like her, so I'm assuming she poured the package directions amount of milk in. You just want to give that a good stir. Make sure it's all incorporated. With cornbread, you don't have to stir out or mix in all the lumps. That's perfect, okay? And then we're gonna just put this aside. And now, as far as the cheese, again, Tangy used 2 to 3 cups of cheese. I've got 2 there. I've got more in the refrigerator if we need it, but I'm not sure how much I'm gonna need for my pan, so. We'll, as we go through, I'll figure this out, and I'll at least, I'll give all those proportions in our recipe on the description, and then also in the, on our website. All right, so that didn't really go a full 2 or 3 minutes, but it's okay. I'm gonna bring us to the next stage, just so we can keep everything going. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. This is pepper. Good couple pinches. And shout out to Todd out there. Todd, I actually think instead of using the seasoning salt, if you used your Cajun seasoning, that would be delicious. It also just kind of has like a text, almost, well, Tangy's from, I believe she's from Florida, so down south. It almost has a Tex-Mex feeling to me. And again, if you could omit the seasoned salt and use taco seasoning, and I think that would be awesome as well. All right. All right, give that a little mix. I'm sure I say this every time I do this, but To me, there is nothing like the aroma of sauteing onions and peppers. I mean, almost everything in my life, as far as I ever started of sauteing onions and peppers. All right, we'll get our meat in there. And basically what we're going to do is just saute this until everything is brown and delicious. Now normally I would say to you, you always need to salt beef when it's raw to get the salt flavor in there, but we're going to do it the exact way that Angie did it. I didn't see her put in any, but so that's how I'm going to do it. We do have a little bit of added salt in there. All right, so I'm going to turn this up a little bit, let this saute. I'll clean up the rest of this stuff, and we will open up all the containers and stuff, and we'll be back in a little bit. All right, our ground beef, peppers, and onions is all nicely browned. Now, if you really feel that you have to drain it, you could. As I said many times when we brown beef, if you drain it, I mean, I use the lean ground beef. There's very little fat left in there. Okay, we sauteed it nicely so the water is absorbed. You go ahead and drain this. Not that much to drain anyway, because I think this was 93% lean. But to me, you're gonna take out all your flavor. So, all right. So our next step is I'm gonna put our tomatoes in. Looks about what Angie put in. I drained them, like I said. That's what we did. We can give this a mix. I'm sure the tomatoes, the whole tomatoes will add just a little bit of texture to it. I think that's a good idea or the chopped tomatoes, I should say. It's smelling delicious. All right, and then we need about a half cup or so of tomato sauce. Not my red sauce, but it's good. I made a big batch of sauce a couple weeks ago, and my meat flavored sauce, and I think I'm already down to about half of what I cooked. And I think I'm going to add the rest of that, just because maybe my meat is a bit too lean, and we do want a little bit of juice. All right, and then we got our can of whole kernel corn that has been drained of the liquid. I think corn, you could use any vegetable, really. Even Tangi said she's used mixed vegetables and other types of vegetables. I think the corn ties in nice just because it's got the cornbread. Of course, cornbread goes well with spinach too, but I hate spinach.
What about peas?
You could do peas, yep. I do peas as well. Which I love sweet peas, and I love corn. And we're just going to mix that up. We don't even really need to heat this anymore because this, of course, is all cooked now, and we're just getting everything mixed up. All right. Then we can put that aside. The heat is pretty high. I don't know how these pieces of, be right back. All those pieces of vegetable go all over my counter, but somehow they did. Alright, so again, I'm making this according to the package directions of the potatoes. Angie said use a medium box. This is my favorite kind of piece of mashed potatoes, the buttery home style, so that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to use one big package and one small package. Or this is be a double pack and one regular pack. If I end up not using it all, that's okay. I'll eat them like they are. Alright, so I'm just waiting for my water to come to a boil. And picking up my mess here. We're almost done with what we need to do with this. So we do need to open these. Boil. Watched pot never boils. So don't watch the pot. Alright, we got our cheese. We got our cheese right here and paprika. Tasty. Alright, so again, I'm making this according to the package directions. I've got 6 cups of water because this is already flavored with buttery stuff. It doesn't need any margarine or anything. Get another spoon. I know I got a spoon here somewhere. There we go. Alright, we're boiling. According to the directions, it says jump in all at once. And stir. Yeah, like molten lava. Now I can turn it on. Myself.
Careful.
That burner does not react quickly. Alright, so then at this stage it looks like Tangi added all of her seasoning. I think Tangi did add some chopped garlic, but to my horror, which I don't believe how I ran out of garlic, I don't have any garlic. So I omitted the chopped garlic. Alright, and the package directions say to cover. What did I do with the cover? And let it stand for 5 minutes. We're going to do that, but we're going to go back and add some. We're going to let that thicken up to its natural state. Be right back. We'll let it thicken up according to the package directions. I'm going to get this out of my way. Oh, this is hot. And we do have a couple other things we're going to add into that. We're going to add some sour cream, but again, I'm going to let it sit for the time frame. It says, This is delicious. Just brush away any of this mess.
I'm going to cut a lot of this, aren't I?
Yeah, you can. Did you hear that, guys? In case he doesn't cut it, he's going to cut a lot of this. All right, please comment if you Well, he'll have to leave this part in. Comment if you like watching me clean up and talk. I'm going to say no, you can't cut any of this out. I don't care how long it is. And then, depending upon if you guys comment on what you say in the future, yes, cut out Mark's babbling, or leave it in. That's what we'll do. All right, so enough babbling. I think that has sat enough. Could probably use another couple minutes, but Wade's rushing us.
No, we just don't want to bore our audience.
Well, that's nice. I'm boring.
No, I didn't say you were boring.
Yeah. You've put up with me for how long? So Tangi says about a half a cup. That's what we're going to add. I was almost licked that spoon clean, but... Now I am going to add a little black pepper to this because I can't help myself. I think mine are loose enough, but I'm going to add just a tad bit of milk because that's still going to sit a minute or so as we put everything together. And of course I'm going to taste that because it looks delicious. Delicious mashed potatoes, Tangi. All right, so we can set that aside. And bring our pan over. I am beginning to think, I wonder if I should use a bigger pan. I think I'm going to use a bigger pan. Excuse me. Sorry about that noise, guys. I don't know how I can have such a big kitchen and drop pans all over the place. It might not look bigger, but it's deeper. So, but then again, I'm a little worried. Nope. We're going to stick with this pan. Sorry. We'll make it fit.
Use two if it's too much.
If I don't use quite as much, then that's okay. All right, so now, believe it or not, we're going to take our... Mine thickened up quite a bit. I'm going to take our cornbread, mixed, raw. Now, in Tangi's video, hers was a bit looser, but like I said, I don't think mine sat there for a while, so. But that might help us with our volume. Of course, I need another spatula. I've used all my spatulas. This one in here. I can't see any of you. And my glasses are fogged. I can hear Wade's mind thinking, doo 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 doo. Well, really, because we're taping. See what you made me do? We're taping this on a Sunday, and of course the football is on. But he so graciously said, "Sure, let's do it today." See, losing that little bit may have helped us. All right, so. And I'm going to spread this all out to the edges. Now, if you do this and yours is thinner, that's probably because you're going to wait a minute. Not wait as long as I did. to put it in your pan. And I forgot something major. Thanks to you, Wade. I didn't spray the pan. Guys.
Oh no.
That's all right. We may have to chisel it off the bottom, but we'll be fine. But you guys go ahead and spray your pan with Leon. Do as I say, not as I do. But that's because I was in a tizzy over the pan. It's Tangi's fault. Alright, that's going to be good. Now, you know what? I'm going to have to clean this because this is driving me crazy. This big splop of it here. Of course, that's not going to clean up nicely. I'm going to waste a whole thing of paper towels. We need to get a new, hopefully you guys can hear us in our last couple videos because we need to get a new microphone for our new setup, which Wade has ordered, but it hasn't come in yet. So hopefully you can hear me well enough. Be right back. I'll wait till I come over there and talk. Yes, I am a prolific paper towel waster. I recycle everything. We're really, really good about recycling. That's the one thing in life I will not give up is my paper towels. All right, now. There could have been more prepared. Our oven is preheated at 350. It's been on for quite a while. Didn't I just say I was really conscious about saving energy? So, then we're going to spread this all around. This smells delicious. And we're going to have a nice big center thick layer. Tangi may have been making hers for a big crowd because it looked to me like she was using an aluminum pan, like a big party pan. It didn't look to me, I could tell I am with it enough still. But again, I couldn't tell if it was like a big one or a 9x12, so. Ooh, but that looks delicious. That's gonna be perfect. I'm going to have a really thick middle layer, but see, sometimes I don't make you all watch these and do these little tedious things, but I'll save that little tiny bit I got in there just to make sure we get enough potatoes on there. That will make a nice lunch. Or right after we get done cooking this, in between the time it's cooking, I'll eat that. One more little scoop. Okay, so now I'm going to take some cheese. And alright, so I'm going to say this recipe is, and the amount I use is going to be for a 9x13 pan.
That's what it is?
This pan is a 9x13 pan, yeah. Alright, let's get our mashed potatoes over here. Yeah, those look good. They're still going to be spreadable. And again, we're going to have some of these left over. And if you kind of dollop down your tray. So for the recipe, I think for the 9x12, what I'll do is I'll say just one double-sized package of mashed potatoes. Firmly but gently, we should be able to get this nicely distributed on top without disturbing our other layers. Oh, this looks so good. I can't wait.
Ooh.
All right, so, because my counter was wet, my pan's not slipping. The oven is preheated to 350, like I said. Almost done. I think that's perfect. If you want to take, I'm going to put just a little bit more here because I can see some of our cheese coming through. Mmm.
Ooh.
Okay.
It smells good.
It smells good. Looks pretty. All right, and then we're gonna put a layer of cheese. I don't think I need to put this on a bacon sheet. I think this will be, but you know what? We better make sure. So I am gonna add a bacon sheet. Just so my oven doesn't get any dirtier than it is. By now, you guys are all probably screaming, "No! Edit all that out." All right, so on a baking sheet we go, just to be safe. And 350 degree preheated oven. 35 to 45 minutes, I'm going to say. I'm going to definitely go a minimum of 40. Just because I'm not quite sure about the uncooked cornbread. Okay, set a timer for 45 minutes.
Okay, 45 minutes.
I'll come back in 40 minutes and give it a check. And hopefully we'll see you then. Alright guys, I checked it at 40 minutes. I felt it needed a little bit longer, so I gave it the full 45. Let's take a look. Oh, it looks delicious. I'm glad I did put my pan under there. It is just starting to bubble over a bit. Oh yeah. I'll take it out of there. And hopefully you can get a little picture of the can you grab onto that right now? Maybe you can get a little bit of the side. You can see the cake. It has gotten nice and fluffy, so the cornbread, I should say. So at least it looks to me. So I would say that is, yep, good. Perfect, and little golden brown action going on the top. The one thing I forgot in my haste to get it in the oven so we could taste it was some paprika, which TNG sprinkled on, but we'll sprinkle it on now. Give it a little color and just that little extra seasoning. Okay. All right, now I would definitely say you want this to cool down a little bit before you cut into it. So I'd give it 10 minutes or so to cool down so that it's not going to come out in a beautiful slice, because at least the first one. But if you give it a few minutes to cool down, the cheese will start to melt, firm up, and so will the potatoes. All right, well, we're actually going to give it a little while because we're not going to eat for a bit, but see you in a little while for dinner. Well, once again, the best thing of cooking is the eating. Just in case you can see that mess on my table over there, my mess, that's the rest of all the Christmas decorations that I've got to put up sometime during the week. All right, so this is $1 million shepherd's pie.
$1 million, eh?
That's what Tangy called it. Let's see. Now, mine has cooled down considerably because we didn't eat right away, but so everything's nice and firm and it's held together.
Yeah, nice layers.
Ready?
Oh, that's good. The cornbread.
That is tasty. I don't know if
The meat potatoes.
The
All goes
potatoes are
together.
delicious. I don't know if I got a piece of cornbread in there because I took a corn out. There we go. Let's see.
Oh, that is good.
Oh, it's delicious. It didn't stick, but I would recommend spraying it with cooking spray just to make sure. There's some pan. It is scrumptious. Right in the full description and the directions, I'll do a little tweaking to some of the measurements that we used for the 9x13 pan. I think it's
That is delicious. Delicious. One more bite.
It's hard to believe that cornbread came out so good. I mean, going in there raw or uncooked. What about flavor?
It's almost like what? Let's say one more bite. Before I talk.
Okay.
Talk to them again.
All right. You can talk while I take one more bite.
Guys, please remember to like and subscribe and check out cherryhillhomecooking.com.
Ciao.
See you in the next video. Bye. That's
Tasty.
amazing.
It's very good.